Be Attentive, Series 18, Volume 35, September 12, 1937. What can one of our words not do? It can do all. One can say that whoever is disposed to listen to it gives life to our word, since we never speak if we do not find the one who wants to listen. The one who listens loves us so much that we feel as if she wanted to give us life in the midst of the creatures, so we give our life at her disposal. Therefore be attentive to listen. Let us pour out our love, because many times, when we have nobody to whom to express our love, these outpourings are justly turned into justice. Volume 35, October 3rd, 1937. The wonders that these acts, done in my will, form in the soul, are unspeakable. Through them, our divine Fiat forms seas of love, not murmuring seas, but speaking seas. They speak about our love with such eloquence that we like it very much, and we want always to keep listening. The voices of this creature wound us. Her words are like darts. She always has something to say about the story of our love, and we like it so much that we always remain attentive to listen to her. We do not want to miss anything that regards our love. How beautiful it is to hear the creature who possesses our sea of speaking love, always speaking about our love. And my will, possessing the creature who lives in it, is up to things of every stripe. It forms the works that speak of our works, the steps that speak of our ways. In sum, since our will is word, wherever it reigns it gives speech to all that the creature does, making a divine prodigy out of it. Therefore there is nothing greater, holier, more beautiful, that glorifies us more, than living in our will. And there is no good greater than this that we can give to the creature. So be attentive and follow me, if you do not want to stop my saying. Volume 35, October 12, 1937. Do you think it's trivial to give our being, so that a creature, too small to be able to contain it, can give it back to us, together with herself, and we in turn can give ourselves again? It is a continuous reciprocal giving that makes so much love and glory arise that we feel as if we are repaid by her for having given her life. So each thing she does without allowing our will to enter is a rip that we feel, a right that we feel being taken away from us, a joy that we lose. Therefore be attentive, so that all may become divine will for you. Volume 35, October 31st, 1937. These acts are divine. They are able to form the passport for other creatures, to let them enter the kingdom of our will. They will give a child to our kingdom, so that the more acts will be performed in our volition, the more populated our kingdom will be, and all the good will overflow to those who have been the first to give life to my will in their acts. You must know that the first passports were formed by me and by my celestial mother for the first children of my will. These passports carry my signature, written with my blood and with the sufferings of the Most Holy Virgin. All other passports still need my signature, otherwise they would not be recognized. Therefore the one who lives in my will has my life as principle, my love as heartbeat, my work and steps as endowment, and my very will as word. I feel myself in this creature, and oh, how much I love her, and feel loved by my same love. And the soul feels such joy and contentment that she loves me no longer with her little love, but with my eternal love. She hugs me with my works. She runs after me with my steps. She feels that I am her life. She finds all in me, and I in her. Therefore be attentive, daughter, if you want to be happy, and make me happy as well. Volume 35, February 7th, 1938. Only the human will puts limits and constraints on the creature, throwing her into the miseries, and preventing her from receiving my goods. Therefore I anxiously await that my will may be known, and that the creatures may live in it. Then I will show off so much opulence that every soul will be like a new creation, beautiful, but distinct from all the others. I will amuse myself. I will be her insuperable architect. I will display all my creative art. Oh, how I long for this! How I want it! How I yearn for it! Creation is not finished. I have yet to do my most beautiful works. Therefore, my daughter, let me work. And do you know when I work? When I manifest to you a truth on my divine will. I immediately become the architect, and I work in you with my creative hands, so that that truth may become life within your soul. Oh, how I enjoy myself in this work! The soul becomes like soft wax in my hand, being shaped into the life that I want. And therefore be attentive and let me do. Volume 35, February 26, 1938. How many unheard of prodigies will we not deliver from our divine womb for those who will let our will reign? Our works will sing triumphs and victories, and hands full we will abound in giving the gifts and the goods of their Creator that they possess. All will be happy, those who give and those who receive. Therefore be attentive and do not care about anything other than living in my will, because I have much to give you, and you much to receive. Volume 35, March 12, 1938. Would you like to know what the use of these lives of ours will be, that have been formed with so much love in the creature? They will serve to populate the earth, and to generate the life of our will in the human family. They are our lives, my daughter. Our life never dies. It is eternal, with us. Therefore they are all in waiting to take possession of the creatures, in order to form one single life with them. And this is also the cause, our great divine reason for which we have been speaking for so long about our divine will. Each word we say is one of our lives that we deliver. It is a birth that we give to the light. Every word that we pronounce on our Fiat is a life that we expose, that puts itself in communication with the creatures. Every knowledge that we manifest carries our kiss, so that the creature may form our life at every breath. And since life has motion, warmth, heartbeat, and breath, she must also feel, by necessity, this life of ours within herself. This life will have the virtue of transforming the life of this fortunate creature into itself. Therefore, my daughter, be attentive. Do not allow even one word on our fiat to escape you, because they are lives, lives that we live inside other creatures. The value of one single word on our fiat is so great that the whole of creation, oh, how behind it remains. The creation is our work, while one word on our fiat is life, and the life always costs more than all the works. Volume 35, April 10th, 1938. My blessed daughter, life in my will shall contain such surprises and so many divine novelties as to astonish even the angels and the saints. More so, since in my will there are no words but facts. My will converts words, desires, and intentions into facts and accomplished works, while all that the creature wants outside of my will is reduced to words, desires, and intentions. In my will, which possesses the creative virtue, all that the creature wants becomes accomplished fact and works full of life. More so, since living in our will, she is already aware of what we do and feels what we want. So she follows us in the works, wanting whatever we want. She just cannot do without it, nor could she put herself aside. Our fiat becomes her greatest necessity, and she cannot do without it. It is more than breath for her, which has to give and to receive, more than motion, which feels the extreme need to move. In sum, my will is everything for her. It is impossible for her to live without it. Therefore, be attentive, and may your flight be always in our fiat. Volume 36, May 15th, 1938. You must know that our love is so great that when we decide to give a word, to manifest a truth from our Supreme Majesty, we also provide the act in which to do it, enclosing in ourselves the good which that truth has to produce. When the good we have to give to creatures, through those truths we manifest, is all mature and completed, then we give this good to one of them, and she becomes the bearer of that good for the benefit of all human generations. Therefore, our words enclose all centuries, and being words of life, they possess a creative strength. Wherever they reach out, they will create life and bring the goodness of our truth. So, stopping our words by not manifesting them means stopping all the good and lives that our words can produce. I know, my daughter, that you would never want to give me such a sorrow by preventing this great good from reaching the human generations, would you? The one who loves me cannot refuse me anything, not even the sacrifice of her own life. Therefore, be attentive, since you do not want to be responsible for so many of our divine lives which are destined to give life to creatures. Volume 36, May 17th, 1938. My daughter, everything came out of ourselves and was shaped by our creative hands, both the soul and the body. Both of them must be ours. In fact, we made the body as the organ, and each act done in the divine will was to form one key. It had to contain many notes and concerts of music, all different from one another. The soul, in union with the body, was supposed to be voice and song. By playing those keys, It was to create the most beautiful melodies. Now, an organ without a player is like a dead body. It's not fun, neither does it attract anyone. On the other hand, one who is good at music cannot exercise his art as a musician if he doesn't have an instrument to play. Therefore, a living someone who speaks and moves is needed to create beautiful music. But the instrument is necessary too, with its keys, notes, and so on. Both of them are necessary. Such are the soul and the body. There is such harmony, order, and union that one cannot do without the other. So be attentive. I watch your steps, your words, the movements of your pupils, your tiniest acts, in order for my will to have its life, its place. We do not care whether the act is natural or spiritual, big or small, but we watch attentively to see whether all is ours, whether our will made arise its sun of light, sanctity, and love. We use even the most insignificant act to make the most prodigious wonders, forming the most beautiful scenes to keep us all amused. Didn't we form the marvelous enchantment of the whole creation from nothing? Wasn't it from nothing that we created so many harmonies, up to our very image in the creation of man? My daughter, if creation had to give us only what is spiritual, that would have been very little. Instead, by giving us also its natural acts, it can always give. We can be in continuous relation, and our bond never breaks. More so since the small things, breathing, moving, helping oneself in little personal things, are always available and within reach, available for the little and the great, for the ignorant and the learned, and they never end. If these little things are done to love us, they form in themselves the life of the divine will, our victory and triumph, the ultimate purpose of their creation. See, then, how easy it is to live in our will. The creature doesn't have to do new things, but just what she always does. That is to say, to live her life as we gave it, but in our will. Volume 36, June 5th, 1938. This is living in our will, feeling our life that gives life to her, feeling our operating act moving, breathing, working in her being. These are our celestial inhabitants, the glory in our house. We live as children and Father. All that is ours is theirs, but they do indeed recognize it. They are not blind thieves who have no eyes to look at our light, or ears to listen to our paternal attentions, or who do not feel our operating act over them. On the contrary, those who live in our will feel through our operating act, and this is the greatest gift that we can give to the creature. Therefore be attentive. Recognize that your life comes from us, that we give you all, breathing and motion, to live together with you. Now you must know that as the soul does her acts in our will, our love is such that we centralize our supreme being in her, together with all our works. Oh, what delights and joys we feel in seeing our dominating majesty in her, surrounded by all our works. The angels and saints pour into her to honor their Creator, because everybody runs where God is and wants their place of honor around us. But while everything is centralized in her, an even greater wonder occurs. The creature is centralized in everybody. She reaches the center of each created thing. Our will loves her so much that it multiplies her and gives her a place wherever it is, keeping her close in all its works. We just can't stay without this creature who lives in our will. We would have to split our will in two, but our will cannot be divided. It is always one, and one single act. Furthermore, if we put aside the one who lives in our will, our own love would wage a war against us. Rather, the reason for which we want her to live in our will is that we want her with us, to show her our works, to make her feel the heartbeats and the notes of our love. From afar, our works cannot be known, and our love cannot be felt. So we need to be with her, to love each other, to know each other, and to work. Otherwise, the creature goes on her own way, and we on ours, remaining deprived of our delights, and of the freedom to do what we want, in absolute pain. Therefore be attentive. Live always in our will if you want us to live in you and you within us. Volume 36, June 26, 1938. Furthermore, for the one who lives in our will, each motion, breath, heartbeat, anything she can do, are continuous conquests for her, divine conquests. I can say that by living in my will, she breathes with my breathing, moves at my motion, beats with my eternal heartbeat. Therefore she acquires the conquering act in each of her acts. All this is given to her with justice and exuberant love, since by living in our will, not giving life to her will any more, she has to be in the celestial region by right to delight and enjoy our delightful will. Now, in order to live off of our will on earth, the poor daughter deprives herself of the joys of heaven. This is the most heroic act, the most intense love, by which all heaven, our divinity, and the Queen of Heaven remain wounded. And we love the heroism of this creature. Oh, how much all of us love her! So our love that lets itself be won by anybody surrenders to each of her breaths, to every little motion. If she thinks, looks, and speaks with a conquering divine act, the conquests are innumerable. We feel that it is not the creature who breathes and moves, but we ourselves, giving the value that our breath and motion contain, which is the highest that could possibly be conceived. Therefore this creature is the conqueror of our life and acts. This happy creature, with her conquering act, becomes our continuous expression of love, our very happiness, our rest. Her conquests are continuous seals on our decree of the coming of the kingdom of our will on earth. These conquests shorten the time, and even more, our operating life is not a stranger on earth anymore, but it already exists, having formed its kingdom in this lucky creature. Therefore be attentive, never stop, and I will take everything into account, even your breath, to love you more and to make you do many conquests, one more beautiful than the other. Volume 36, July 11th, 1938. My daughter, our will circulates in all created things, as blood in the veins. The primary act, the motion, The heat is always its own. But if my will finds a creature who recognizes it and lives in it, while it keeps circulating in everything, it concentrates in this creature, forming its own support to operate its marvels. And while with power and immensity, it never leaves anyone, it opens its communications with this creature for the benefit of those who will have ears to listen to them, intelligence to understand them, hearts to receive them and love them. In this creature, it will deposit its graces and its keenness of love, while the human will living in it will serve as the room in which to continue its operating act, forming its center, its divine chamber, for its continuous expression of love. As the creature does her acts in my will, she is reborn in God, and God in her, and these births will make new horizons arise, more beautiful heavens, brighter suns, new divine knowledge. For every additional act she does in our will, we feel more moved to make ourselves known. We feel more confident in placing our trust in her, since our will is in her. She will know how to keep with jealousy what we tell her and what we give her. Therefore, in every new birth, she will rise to new love, new sanctity, new beauty. Then, looking at her in a delirium of love, we say to her, "Our will makes you more and more beautiful, more and more saint, and the more you live in it, the more you grow and rise again in our divine being. For every new act you do, our will imposes itself to make us give you what is ours, and to tell you new secrets, grant you new discoveries of our love." If we did not always give to this creature, we would feel motion lacking to our divine life. This cannot be. Neither can she live without receiving, otherwise she would feel lacking the food of love, the tenderness of her Heavenly Father. Therefore be attentive, and recognize that you are being carried by the arms of the divine paternity. Volume 36, September 11th, 1938. Now, having to grow myself, I watch over her continuously, so that what she does may serve to make known and grow my life within her. I use her acts, and her love, to form my limbs, my heart, the food to feed myself, and the clothes to cover me and give me warmth. I remain always in the attitude of unifying her motion with mine, her breath with mine, in order to find her motion inside mine and her breath as if it were mine. I let nothing escape me, nothing of what she does, thinks, says, works, or suffers, because it has to serve me and make my life grow. Therefore I am always in action. I never give myself any rest. Oh, how glad I am! How happy I feel to be always busy in my work of making myself grow within her. I did not create the creature so that she would remain isolated. Certainly not. She was my work, so I had to do it in order to form a work worthy of myself. But if she doesn't live in my will, I do not find the raw material with which to form and grow my life. We live as if far away, as isolated, and loneliness saddens me. Silence is heavy. If I am not able to do my work, I have fidgets of love, and I feel like a god made unhappy by his creatures. Therefore, my daughter, be attentive. Live always in my will. Give me your acts. Let me work, and do not keep me within you as a god who couldn't and wouldn't know how to do anything. Actually, I have to do the greatest work, growing and forming my life, that will be so beautiful as to form the sweet enchantment of the whole celestial court. Every single time you enter into our will, recognizing these gifts and making them yours, you are giving us the opportunity and the glory, as if we were repeating again all that we have done for love of the creatures. Our will is the repeater of all our works. It repeats them, renews them always in every instant, each time the creature wants to receive them. And while they give themselves, they remain at their place. They give themselves still remaining. By giving themselves, they lose nothing. Rather, they are more glorified. Therefore, be attentive to live always in our will. Volume 36, October 10th, 1938. Furthermore, although the creation surrounds her on the outside, we develop our field of action in the interior of her soul, creating in her the brightest suns, the most beautiful stars, winds that blow continuous loves, seas of graces, divine and balsamic air. And she receives all, freeing us in our field of action, our true creation that was never opposed to anything we wanted to do, and in which all our works found their place. So we can place all our most beautiful works within the soul who lives in our will, and our will prepares for us the space in which to place them. Therefore, our field of action never ends in those who live in our Fiat. Be attentive, then, to receive what we want to make of you. After this, he added with a love that I cannot express, "My daughter, the interest that most concerns us and our most assiduous attention is on the soul who lives in our will. We are all eyes over her. It seems that we neither know how, nor can we do anything, if we do not extend our operating and creative virtue over her. Our love leads us to watch her to see what she wants to do. If she wants to love our creative virtue, we create our love in the depth of her soul. If she wants to know us, we create our knowledge. If she wants to be saint, our creative virtue creates sanctity. In sum, our creative virtue is ready to create any good she wants, so that she can feel in herself the nature and the life of that good. We neither can nor do we want to refuse anything to the one who lives in our will. It would be as though denying something to our own will, denying it to ourselves. It would be too hard not using our creative virtue for ourselves. See then the high, noble, and sublime point at which the one who is in our will lives. Therefore be attentive. Do not care about anything except living in it, and you will feel our creative and operating virtue. Volume 36, December 5th, 1938. What joy! What happiness, my daughter, to be able to form ourselves, to have someone who knows us and loves us, to possess our royal palace within the creature. Further, there is the great good that the creature will receive. Her little sanctity will remain in ours. Her little love will remain in our love. Her goodness and beauty within ours. In this way, if she does a holy act, she will have our sanctity in her power. If she loves, she will love with our love, and so forth. all her acts will rise from within our acts. So she will love us always and will feel always loved. She will grow more and more in sanctity, goodness, and beauty, and with this she will acquire ever new knowledge of the love of her Creator. She will feel it palpitating in her acts. My will shall reveal to her ever new things about our divine being, to make her appreciate more our life that she possesses. The knowledge will make new love arise by communicating more truths about our beauty. It won't stop telling her new things, as if feeding her with what we are. The happy creature will feel as if caught in the net of our love, invested by our light and by the enchantment of our beauty. And we will be so enraptured by her love that we will take refuge within her, to love and to release our love. We will embellish her so much that we will let ourselves be conquered by such a rare beauty. All other things are like little drops compared to the living of the creature in our will. Therefore be attentive. If you live in my will, you will give me the greatest joy and will make me happy. There is such a union and a transformation that those who live in our will and we ourselves understand each other without talking. We speak without words. This, the greatest gift that we can give to the creature, to speak with her breath and motion. She identified with us in so much that we use the same modes with her that we use with ourselves. Since our divine being is all word and voice, when we do not want, we do not let anybody hear. Therefore be attentive, and let my will guide you in everything. Volume 36, December 25th, 1938. Now, my daughter, let me tell you another surprise. The one who lives in my will is inseparable from me. She is born again each time, together with me. Therefore I am never alone. I make her be born again with me to divine life, to new love, to new sanctity, and to new beauty. She is reborn in the knowledge of her Creator, reborn in each one of her acts. More than this, in every act she does, she calls me to be born again, forming a new paradise for her Jesus. And I make her be born again with me, to make her happy. One of my greatest joys is to make those who live together with me happy. Therefore be attentive to live in my will if you want to make me happy, if you want me to find in your acts my paradise on earth, and I will take care to make you enjoy the sea of my joy and happiness. We will make each other happy. You have reached the end of the Be Attentive series, volumes 35 and 36. Fiat, Fiat, Fiat.